I put makeup on just for this date, so it better go well. And I'm not posting this, probably, if it doesn't. It did not go well. Truthfully, it lasted less than 2 minutes. I walked up, he gave me a hug and said, "Are you hungry? Let's go inside." We went inside. He said, "Actually, can you step outside for a minute?" I stepped back outside, and he said, "I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just not feeling it." So I walked to my car and came back home. Dating when you're fat sucks.
So many women hide behind filters and flattering angles, then act shocked when the guy isn't into it. At least he was honest enough to walk away immediately, instead of pretending. Brutal? Sure. But better than wasting time on a date built on false advertising.
Comply or goodbye. That's how it goes. Now, if you want to take my advice and listen to me, cool. If you don't, fine. You'll stay single for a couple more years.
I know it sounds harsh, but what he's saying is most women never tell you this in person. They'll be like, you know what?
Nah, bro.
You're amazing. I love you. Da da da.
And that
lie.
attitude, that attitude of I'm not gonna change or I don't care what men want. I only want what I want. You're cooked, bro. You're never gonna get a guy to
but
take
I
you
never
seriously.
said that I wasn't going to change, and we had this conversation earlier. I just said in this moment that right now I'm doing me, straight up, and that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, you asked,
That's not gonna work. That's not
why are
going to
you
work.
getting so angry right
I
now?
am doing me is stupid.
Why are you getting so, like, whatever?
I'm not mad. I'm just
You're
telling
just
you.
getting super aggressive. Like,
No,
if my man wants
because-
me to do something different, then I'm going to do something different. Like, I don't know why you're
you
saying
ain't
that
gonna
I'm not.
get him. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I am not worried about that. Like, I'm genuinely not. I get asked on, like, a daily, weekly basis if I want to be someone's wife.
Men are tired of being disrespected and dismissed. Keep that attitude, and it's not independence you'll find. It's loneliness disguised as strength.
As a woman, you need to learn how to flip the script and make everything that man's fault. Even, it don't matter.
I see dozens of videos like this every single day. Explain to me again the benefit to a man to being in a relationship with a woman, because there isn't.
Women act like focusing on myself is some badge of honor, but it just screams selfishness and zero accountability. That I don't care what men want mindset, it's pushing good men away.
You can be in love and be really unhappy. Having a relationship that's causing you constant anxiety, constant heartache, constant pain, feeling overlooked, not feeling important. You can be in love and all of those things still be true. How crazy is that?
Well, if the heartbreak were real, it wouldn't be filmed for likes. Real pain stays private. Those teary TikToks aren't healing, they're performance, fishing for sympathy, not processing genuine emotion.
It is very hard to communicate facts without your interpretation of them or how people feel. I'm saying men will walk away, and men will walk away for 2 reasons. Number 1 reason, the quality of wives is too low. The women are too overweight. Not all. The women are too overweight. The women are too slutty. And the women, there's just not enough quality wives. You know, Aaron Clary broke down the numbers that Michael Knowles, he was kind of disputing them in our debate. But Aaron Clary did a whole video you can look up on his channel. It's from the Book of Numbers, going through how they got the 5% of women are marriageable stat.
Women clown men for being short every single day, and it's treated like a joke. One gets praised as confidence, the other condemned as cruel. Truth is, they're both preferences, but only men get punished for theirs. Guys are finally done playing by rules that shame them for existing, while excusing the same behavior in women.
Alright, I'm gonna say it. Some of y'all aren't gonna like it. Doesn't make it any less true. Here we go. A lot of really good men are leaving marriages. Why is that? Is it because they fell out of love, or is it something else? A lot of what we're seeing now is men leaving marriages, not because they've fallen out of love, but because they feel unappreciated within that marriage. Now, these guys, they work all day, they provide, they make sure you're safe, they make sure you're taken care of. What do they get in return? A lot of them are getting criticism for what they didn't do, as opposed to the thankfulness for what they do. Men are not like women. They don't need a big show of affection. They don't need a parade. They don't need constant gifts. But what they do need is appreciation, gratitude, respect. What they want to hear is that the person they're working so hard for, or the family that they're working so hard for, to say, we appreciate all that hard work you're putting in. We see you. When a man feels unappreciated at home, doesn't matter how much he loves you, at a certain point, he can't keep continuing to pour from an empty cup. He's going to stop trying to pour into a cup that's continually empty. He's also going to stop pouring into a cup that constantly is looked at as half full.
Men aren't walking away because they've stopped loving. They're walking away because they're drained, dismissed, and treated like ATMs. You can only give so much to someone who never appreciates it. Keep pretending good men don't exist, and don't act surprised when they finally disappear for good. Respect runs out long before love does.
It's hard to have your shit together. It's hard to be kicking ass in this fucking complicated, bizarre world that we live in. This is why women are so picky. When you see that 80% of the women are attracted to 20% of the men.
We all know the world's brutal for men today. Pressure's insane. You're expected to be confident, rich, fit, and emotionally unshakable. But one slip, and you're invisible. The 80-20 rule is real. Most women chase the top-tier guys, leaving good men unseen. Not because they lack value, but status or perfection.
The top 20% is doing 80% of the sales, making 80% of the money, getting 80% of the business. If you extrapolate that as far as social dynamics and men and women, the top 20% of men are getting 80% of the box. Okay? That's just kind of how it works. So if you strive for greatness and you become the top 20%, the top G, mate, you're going to get 80% of the women. That's just kind of how it is.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of capitalism. And not to get all economic here, is that in socialism, everyone's equal. This whole equality thing, we're all equal. But so that means there's no greatness and there's no below average. Everyone's fucking normal.
Absolutely.
The problem with that is, if everyone's normal and we're all having a good time, who's cleaning up for after the party?
Life always favors the top. In money, business, or dating, the elite get the biggest share, while everyone else fights for scraps.
We're all fucking the same men. You know, there's like 20% of men that are sleeping with 80% of the women.
All right, man, we go home, man. I think we're good. We got this. We got this handled. What else is there to say?
So I feel exactly.
Go ahead.
So we feel like men are bad, but we have to understand that it's not men that are bad. It's women that have lied to themselves and given us these fairy tales from the media and from Disney movies and from all these things that have given us this fairy tale ending with one man being faithful to one woman and them living happily the fuck ever after. And that does not exist anymore. Maybe it does in faith-based religions and institutions like that, but even then it gets even weirder in those scenarios. But I think women have to, we have to come to reality that this is a pipe dream and we have to learn to adjust and become more high value, because as you and I, I've hit the wall, you're not there yet, but I mean, some might consider she has. So we have to understand that this is a battle.
Social media's warped reality. A 5 out of 10 woman starts thinking she's a 9 out of 10. Constant validation from average men flooding her DMs and likes inflates egos fast.
The Lord Panic, Rolo, I think this may be a silly question, but from your perspective, would life and or the sexual marketplace be like 80-20 rule was reversed? Wait a minute. That would life or the sexual marketplace, what would it be like if the 80-20 rule were reversed? I think those are kind of like hypothetical questions. Like if that were the case, then because what would happen is you would have to completely flip the attraction dynamic for that to be something. And in a sense, like the 80-20 rule is not necessarily based on like the quality of the guy. It's what are women attracted to and what do they need at a particular time. Remember, okay, children, let's do a little bit of remedial.
Hello there, children. How's it going?
Okay, so the remedial lesson in the 80-20 rule is this, okay? 20% of guys are not fucking 80% of women. All right. Get that out of your fat head. All right. When oh, I'm going to debunk the red pill. Rollo thinks that 80% of women want to bang 20% of guys. Ha ha ha. No, that's not it. Stop it. 100% of women want to get with the top 20% of men. That's, you want to go with the 120 rule? There you go. The problem with that is that the 20% of guys who the women find, at least in somewhat, they're open to some kind of, discourse with them. They're attracted to those guys. Like, that doesn't mean that means they are not the 20% of guys might potentially be acceptable to a woman. 80% of guys are unacceptable. They are unattractive. I've got the stats. How many times do you want me to throw this out there? I should just keep them in the sidebar just so you can see them all the time. 80% of guys are deemed unattractive. Not attractive, not maybe, not if he got himself into a better shape. No, they are unattractive. That's what that means. That's why there's the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule applies only to guys. Only to guys, all right? There's 80% of guys, and when I say the 80%ers, those are the beta males, those are the guys that are just like, women don't want to have anything to do with them under normal circumstances, certainly under social media circumstances. Then there's the 20% of guys who are not necessarily attractive, but they could be, they're considerable, okay? Then, and it gets worse from here, then there are the 4.5% of guys who are so attractive that women will actually initiate conversations with those guys online, on Bumble, on Hinge, on Tinder, on, I don't know, Match.com, whatever it is. Those guys, the 4.5%ers, those are the guys that nobody wants to talk about. Those are the guys, you want to talk about hypergamy? That's your hypergamy right there. There's only 4.5% of guys, at least according to modern statistics right now, that women find attractive enough that they will initiate the conversation. And that's really when you think about it in a larger sort of global gynocentric, sense, those are the only guys who should ever be making any kind of approach on a woman. Anything else is creepy. Now, like I said, Sadie Hawkins' world, right? Sadie Hawkins' dance where the girl asks the guy out so that they can all go to the dance. The reason why that dance doesn't work is because it eliminates all of the attractive, cute boys on the school to go to the dance. That leaves all the ugly girls who didn't want to get with the 80%ers or even like part of the 20%ers. They go home and they commiserate together and they don't go to the dance. And then there's the 80% of guys who never got asked because it's the Sadie Hawkins dance, and they go and they I don't know, do 4-hour MGTOW dictionary podcast and commiserate about their state, right? But then there's the 4% of guys. If you think about it, 4% of guys, 4.5% of guys. If you figure that they are only pairing off with one guy and one girl, that's only 4.5% of women who either were lucky enough to get that guy or they're attractive enough for the top 4.5% of guys to actually want to go to the Sadie Hawkins dance with. And by Sadie Hawkins dance, I mean actually get together and bang. So that's where we're at societally today. You want to know why the fertility rate is what it is? That's why.
The 80-20 rule defines modern dating. Tech and hypergamy made most men invisible, while women chase the top tier. Apps like Tinder amplify it. If you're not in that elite 20%, being a good man doesn't matter. You're just background noise.
There was an article that I saw, Attraction Inequality in the Dating Economy, and basically it goes into some analysis of kind of like how the, likes or swipes are proportionally between men and women, and what percentage of women are liking guys and what percentage of guys are liking girls, and the tier of the quality of the people in terms of, like attractiveness measurements. So I don't know if you've heard the saying, I talk about it in anything to do with, self-improvement, I guess, in terms of, aesthetic context, in terms of looking better, that the top 10% of men get 90% of the women. And these dating statistics seem to back that up pretty conclusively, and this is not unexpected, and it's just something that I feel like drives home the point even harder. So this one was looking at Hinge. Aviv Gold, I don't even know how to pronounce this, an engineer for the dating site, recently analyzed the share of likes on Hinge that went to the most liked people of each gender. He found that inequality in dating apps is stark and that it was significantly worse for men. where we have the top 10% of guys getting 90% of the girls. In here, this is a really old one. I had to get it from, it's like an archive. It was an OkCupid one. This is as far back as 2009. This is the same stuff you see today. The female equivalent of the chart above shows a different bias. As you can see from the gray line, women rate an incredible 80% of guys as worse looking than medium. The average, this is the data for Tinder now. The average female likes 12% of men on Tinder. This doesn't mean though that most men will get liked back by 12% of all women they like on Tinder. This would only be the case if likes were equally distributed. In reality, the bottom 80% of men are fighting over the bottom 22% of women, and the top 78% of women are fighting over the top 20% of men. So we can see this trend in figure 1. The area in blue represents the situations where women are more likely to like the men. The area in pink represents the situations where men are more likely to like women. The curve doesn't go down linearly, but instead drops quickly after the top 20% of men. Comparing the blue area and the pink area, we can see that for a random female to male Tinder interaction, the male is likely to like the female 6.2 times more often than the female likes the male. So what is the conclusion from all that? Is basically that you need to be in the top 10% ideally if you really want to have a good selection, or at minimum 20%. But
many men settle too soon from scarcity. Many women wait too long from excess choice. Dating apps distort perception. Endless options make genuine connection harder. People chase thrill over stability until they realize fulfillment requires balance, not extremes. The system rewards short-term attention, but punishes long-term sincerity, leaving both sides frustrated and uncertain. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. See you tomorrow.